What's up, gamers? DreamcastGuy here, talking today about Resident Evil Village, because I just played the newly released demo, and I'm just honestly completely blown away by it. This demo is completely crazy, but I want to try and break down what I think is the most important aspects of this, because what we have here is a 30-minute chunk of the game itself. It allows us to explore, to do some combat, to try out some puzzles, and most importantly, this demo is beginning to show us why Village is going to be very, very different from Resident Evil VII. Now let's begin things here with just the really strange aspect of this entire demo, which is that by the time you watch this video, there's a chance you cannot play it. Even if you install this game only went live for 8 hours in the middle of the night. Capcom turned on the servers, we were allowed to run around and explore and stuff, and then after that, they shut the servers back off. So I'm sorry, but if you're watching this video, there's a chance you can't try it yet. But please like and subscribe while I tell you just how good it was. Now here's the thing, I think the most substantial change in this game is definitely that it seems like the monsters are going to be a lot freaking harder. So in this demo, we faced the werewolves. It seems like there's going to be these two major factions of baddies that we're going to be fighting throughout the course of Village itself. There's going to be a bunch of vampires and vampire minions, and then werewolves, and then the werewolves that are like lesser dudes. These werewolves in the demo are incredibly tough. I mean, straight up, you can blast these guys in the head, you can try and take them down, you can counter their abilities. These guys are tough. In fact, I think it's pretty much designed that they are borderline unkillable. Even if you track down the ammunition and stuff, these guys are purposefully difficult to put down. But this is part of what I like about it, is that while doing this little combat section here at the start of the demo, you're beginning to realize that this game definitely has a lot of very clear inspiration from Resident Evil 4. Now, what I mean by that is that in Resident Evil 4, they definitely encouraged the action. Being able to just mow people down, upgrade your guns, constantly managing to just shoot when you wanted to shoot, and not having to constantly run from the danger. In this game, you can definitely defend yourselves. And part of that is that killing enemies, they do drop items. There's also just random boxes of extra bullets and currency. So clearly there's going to be like shops and stuff so you can upgrade your guns and even buy more ammunition and healing items. Now to me, this is a gigantic benefit. I love being able to kill the big ol' spooky monsters. And while I do love the save one bullet desperation at times of certain Resident Evils, I like this mix they've managed to make, which is the fact that imagine these enemies just being super tough, but you're always able to get that proper reward for killing them. You're always going to get an upgrade or some ammo or another piece of coin to toss to the Witcher. I mean, I like the fact that there is just so much encouragement of you got bit, but now you got to fight back. Another part of this, definitely the aspect of this that got me the most excited, is really Ethan himself. Now, Ethan was in, of course, Resident Evil 7, but Mr. Winters, he was a bit of a blank canvas at times in Resident Evil 7. He was kind of mute, as all these crazy situations are going on around him, gigantic monsters are crawling up out of the swamp and stuff. In RE7, he reacted in kind of a really fictionalized sense. He didn't seem to be appropriately panicked for the scenario that was going down. Well, in this, we have a much more vocal Ethan Winters. Even in this 30-minute demo, he's a bit of a chatterbox, talking to people about plans, escaping, trying to find information about where to find his lost daughter. And I completely dig that. It's so cool to see him be more of a personal force. Now, Capcom, I think, have already stated the fact that there's going to be a trilogy of Ethan Winters, so we're getting Resident Evil 7, Resident Evil Village, and then someday a Resident Evil 9, and I think they're definitely trying to make him become a more prominent figure. I mean, right now, I'm definitely curious to see how he's going to deal with the rest of this game. Like, I'm glad that they're deciding to make this game much more the story of Ethan Winters, and I'm glad they're doing the hard work to make us love Ethan Winters as much as we may love people like Chris Redfield or Jill Valentine back in the day. But I want to talk a bit more just about the context of this world itself. Graphically, this is insanity. RE Engine, like Capcom, I'm not sure how the heck you managed to make this work, but there is just borderline photorealism on certain characters. The facial animations, the talks between people, the fiery graphics as I'm stealing a car to try and crash out of a rotted shack. It is just stellar what they've managed to pull off here, and I think it manages to make the spooky times definitely a lot more important. Now, during the course of this demo, we're basically just walking into this part of a village, and we're trying to find these series of little plates that are basically like little puzzle pieces. And once you find these, you're able to escape again, which ends the demo itself. I cleared the demo the first time in about 22 minutes, and then I was able to play it again, running through the opening section and do the combat section again. All of this feels very tight. I'm very excited for the fact that there is this, definitely a bigger world here. Like, definitely the segment of this that sticks in my mind the most is there's this just roundtable conversation here where everybody's getting together. These are the villagers that seem to have not been infected yet. Well, I mean, one guy does eventually turn into a werewolf and freak out because he's been bit, but what I like about this is that we're getting a chance to see more about the people who live in the Resident Evil universe. In previous Resident Evils, a lot of times all we see is the superhero himself, the main character who's managing to survive against all odds, but we're not getting a chance to see the random people who are the victims of these extraneous circumstances. Like, honestly, I super respect the fact that we're seeing these random people who don't want to die. These people that they're not involved with this. They don't want to get turned into werewolves. They don't want to get completely eaten apart or fall apart in a burning building and stuff, but I'm glad that they put them in here because it definitely adds that really heavy weight to this. It makes it where when you screw up or when you see these cutscenes and stuff, it definitely feels like, oh man, if I am bad, if I'm not fighting hard enough, I'm definitely going to die an absolutely horrible demise. This demo was incredibly fun. I do wish they'd take the timer off it though. Like, it's weird that this was only playable for 8 separate hours. It's weird that people can't just log in and play it right now. There is going to be a second and separate demo that takes place in the castle, and pretty much everybody is assuming that this is going to be where we're going to see Lady Dimitrescu herself running around and stomping up people and hopefully sitting on us. And yes, apparently that is how her name is said, is Dimitrescu, but I'm definitely going to be trying that out as well. But even with this slice, even with just 30 minutes inside the village of Resident Evil Village, I can see that this game is going to be a very, very impressive experience. I think if I had any sorts of complaints, it'd be a very tiny gripe, but camera mode is kind of lackluster. There is a photo mode in this, but you can't seemingly leave your body or do 360 camera or free aim or anything like that. It pretty much just stops the game and lets you photograph what's in front of you. Now, that's not necessarily bad, but you know, I like exploring. I like getting a chance to see all the different character models and stuff. I like a chance to see like all the monsters and kind of study their really, really cool designs. But maybe that'll get patched, maybe that'll get upgraded, but even this, I'm just so freaking psyched for Resident Evil Village coming out in just a couple weeks, and I hope you guys are excited for it too. If you haven't already, please like this video, leave me a comment down below, tell me your thoughts on this demo if you had a chance to play it, and do me the biggest favor of all, and keep dreaming. Oh my gosh, I'm so freaking glad I got to play this. So fun fact, it actually took me forever to install this. Oh my gosh, it was a big old freaking mess, but I ended up playing it at like really late at night with the lights out. It was such a perfect experience. Play this in the spookiest environment possible. Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, you know, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.